Welcome to my YouTube channel. What's up? What's popping? GenerationsTheLegacy. This video is going to be a Generations review. GenerationsTheLegacy, to be specific. Well, a lot has been happening in Generations, and I'll touch on some of things that I saw and think they need to be addressed in today's review. Let's start with Jack and Zita's relationship. Those people are so toxic for each other, and I'm glad that they broke up, because I feel like if they stayed together, there would be like one explosive couple that if one betrays the other, there's gonna be a lot of collateral damage at the end, and families are going to be suffering because of this one couple. For example, we saw that Spare didn't want anything to do with Zita involving Mazwi into voting for her as part of the board member, but Zita is one selfish woman, and she'll go for what she wants, and that's what she did. She blackmailed Kabisi into voting for her. That woman is sly. Like, she's insane when it comes to her own needs. Like, she'll do anything, okay? She'll do almost anything. Let's take her sleeping with Jack's minion, bodyguard, security, to get information from him. Like, she can sell her own body to get what she wants. That is the point blank, that she'll go for it, and she doesn't care how she goes about it to get what she wants. And we saw that in the couple of episodes that we've seen in Generations. Like, she'll go for anything she wants. So she even blackmailed CD to voting for her because they have history. She helped her fake her death. Matter of fact, CD doesn't know that Zita tried to kill her before. So I don't know what her problem is. She forgets that she tried to kill CD before, and if CD did find out this, I know it's gonna be like World War III somewhere in the scenes. However, Zita managed to get into the board meeting, and she's now a board member. She even exposed this girl, a new character called Rufile Nkaba. We also know her as Tandy from Broken Vows, or she also played a role in Isidingo before it ended. I think her name was Lungi in Isidingo. That woman, I love her, Joanne. Her real name is Joanne. She's such a great actor, and I think she'll make an amazing addition to GenerationsTheLegacy, to be honest. And she plays a different role this time. I feel like she plays a much vulnerable character in Generations to an extent, though. She's still strong and believes in what she believes, but she has elements of vulnerability to an extent, and I like that because most of her characters are strong-willed women who have gone through a lot. Like in Bokoval, she was raped and pregnant, but there was no justice. But there was justice in the end. And if she didn't go, she lost her husband, and she was just a mess. But she managed to go through it. Which I like the vibe that she's bringing into Generations, but we'll see how far her character goes. Kaiwisi and Suzy are still going strong, but I feel like they're walking on eggshells, especially Suzy is. She's trying to manage being a CEO of a multi-millionaire company and also pushing her own agendas to the company, which is getting a bit hard. But I do like seeing Tawu and Sidi be siblings for once in their lives, be a close family unit, you know, like just a brother and sister having conversations and just having a bonding time. At the same time talking about Tawu's daughter, who is Nontle, and now that Sidi has a niece, which is Nontle, they have a lot to bond with, you know, and she's giving her brother like advice on how to raise a teenager, but it's going left. Nonetheless, just being a teenager, which is typical of every growing teenager in the world. We go through a rubble of a phase. Anyway, yeah, that's it for that part. Then let's move on to Spare and Mazui's relationship. These people go through ups and downs like a yo-yo. First of all, they managed to go through a rough patch and they kind of found a rhythm to that marriage, right? They just flew through a really bumpy road in their marriage, but it looks like that hump of a bump is back and it's stronger than ever. Mazri is so focused in work that he's neglecting Spare and her needs. She's trying so hard to get his attention, but Mazri is oblivious to the signs. Like she tried boxing, you know, training for a couple, but he's not interested. But my problem is he's not coming with any ideas to reconnect with his wife, so the wife is doing that for them. So then when she comes with the idea of, okay, let's go for coupling boxing and reconnect, he's like, boxing? Really? Boxing? Then if you don't want boxing, then come up with an idea and stop, you know, pushing away the idea of just connecting with your wife. So Maji is just work, 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 and no family time. And Pei is fed up. She is totally fed up because she's tried her best. So she went to the gym to release any pent-up anger and frustration that she has towards her husband, which is reasonable. Like, come on now. We all need attention. Women need attention. We need to feel like we're wanted, and that's what Spare wants. There she was enjoying it. She met Duffy, and as we all know, Duffy and Spare have a history together. Gaddafi is such a wonderful person inside. He has a tough shell, but in the middle of all that toughness, there's a bit of like softness and tenderness towards women he had so much love for, and I think he has love for Spade to an extent because they have so much history together, and seeing them reconnect like that again and rekindling what they sort of had in the past was just a breath of fresh air to see, because Gaddafi has gone through so much breakup, hurt, and emotional trauma, right? From Chidi's death and coming back, it's just too much for him. So to have a friend like Spe coming through, who has her own problems as well, it's like, oh, okay, you have your problems, I have my problems. Let's come together and share them and just be friends for now. But since they both have history, they've already crossed the line of romantic connection. There's a high possibility that it's gonna cross over to from romantic to something more than just friends, you know. Yeah. And we saw that on yesterday's episode that they had a movie night. Okay. As Faye came through and they had like popcorn when they sat on a couch to watch a movie together. But before that, they went to a poetry event and they enjoyed themselves. They're getting closer and closer to each other without noticing. But yesterday, Gaddafi tried to make a move towards Spare, and Spare, thank God, resisted. Though she's tempted, she managed to resist Gaddafi's charms, and she's like, no, I love my husband, I love Mazwi. But Gaddafi's like, really? You love Mazwi? The same person who's ignoring you, who does not even pay attention to your needs. I know you want this, let's try it, but pays admit, and she's like, nope, not today. But let's say they did go through with it. I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame Spare because she tried her level best with the Mazwi. And speaking of Mazwi is also there with Fiki there. They went for drinks and they played darts and stuff like that. All of a sudden, they're at the hotel and one thing led to another. They started, I think, kissing. We're gonna see on today's episode. It looks like they did sleep together, cause I saw a clip where they're in bed, and I'm like, oh crap! Did he actually go through with it? They do have a connection from, you know, business partners and maybe even more. We don't know yet. But from what I saw in the previous episodes, I feel like Fikile and Mazwe have an understanding and a connection that he does not have with Spare anymore. And he's obviously going to try to explore that. We don't know. I'm just analyzing right here. I'm just pitching some ideas. We don't know. Hopefully it doesn't go as far as I think it has. But with Spare and Marjorie, we all know these people tend to sleep with other people. They come back to each other. Their relationship is confusing. I think the reason why they have this habit of going back to each other, coming out and going to other people to entertain other people, is because they were forced to get married. They didn't love each other at the beginning of this relationship, right? They were forced to be together because of the Morocco and the Dallas clan, and make a powerful family and have an heir to the throne or something like that. They actually didn't come together because they loved each other. The families force these two people who do not love each other to get married, and when that happens, that marriage either falls apart or actually keeps going stronger and stronger. And in Spare and Margie's situation, Margie was in love with Knowledge in the beginning, way back, right? And he had to fight so hard to be with Knowledge, and that didn't go well. They broke up, and he tried again with Spare, but Spare was not feeling it. But then she gave in to the whole marriage. But now they're still in a bumpy road, and I'm not surprised that their marriage is falling apart. These people do not love each other. They were forced to. And if you don't love someone truly from your heart, you tend to stray. It's obvious. Gareth is still kind of hating on CD right now. But he's trying hard to move on from CD and actually have a life. Let's talk about Jara and Lisady. Jara and Lisady, their dynamic is just a mess. So Jara is such a spoiled brat. He's a typical rich boy, cheese boy who wants everything to be done for him. For example, when he wanted to be the junior producer of a program, he used his family connections to get the job. He did not work hard for it. He used his connections with the Moroccans to get the job. He went to his great uncle to persuade Siju to give him the job, and that's what happened. On top of that, he gave all his work he was supposed to do to Lisady to do it for him, and then he claims it as his own. And when Lisady finds out, she's pissed off, she's angry because he stole her idea and pitched it as his own, which is not good, because you stole someone's idea. You can be legally charged for that. Thank God it's not something big. We're just brainstorming, but he did come clean at the end, and then he got the job. So Lisady now is also working with Jara, but the working dynamic is poor. They can't keep things professional. They're just a ticking time bomb, to be honest. Lisady is also trying to fight for women's rights, because she realized that Jara is getting paid more than she is for the same job as she's doing with Jara. So she complained, and she fought hard to get women to be paid the same as men, because we're all equal. Women do work the same way as men, and they work in the same field, and still men get paid more. And they managed to work that out to an extent, I think. But Jara is actually low-key mad that Lisady was fighting for that. She's like, oh, so you're going to disobey the company that gave you a job. It's not disobeying, it's fighting for your own right and knowing your worth. That's what Lisady was trying to show Jara, but Jara is so self-centered he can't even see it. and he's like, oh, it's a company that gave you your job and you're just there, you just obey. It's not that. You are getting paid more than she is, and you know that, and she pointed out to you and you couldn't even say anything because you know she's telling the truth. So there's nothing you can do about that, really. I think that's it as far as I know. Ngaba's, that guy, the minister Ngaba, whatever his name is, forced, he's not really forced, but coerced is his daughter to sleep with Jack, and that's what she did, and she's not really happy with it because she wants to live her own life, but that's not the case. That's not the case. I want to know what's gonna happen today. I want to see if Spare did actually sleep with Gaddafi, but if she didn't, I have even more respect for her. But it looks like Masri did step out on the marriage once again. But Spare did stay loyal. I think she did say no, but if she didn't, I wouldn't hold it against her because she's tried her best with Masri, and Masri's not giving anything. Oh, before I forget, guys, let's talk about Lucy and her husband. That couple is like the realest couple in generations right now. They're so real. Muregza and Lucy are so compatible. It's crazy. Like, the love they share, they are so open with each other that they don't feel like they need to hide that real selves from their partner, and which is a great marriage. Like the way they just talk, slight comments. They're like, oh, my sweetie pie, my donkey, like just little cute little slight comments in there, and I find them just amazing couple, and they're a great match. And I feel like Muregza brings the best out of Lucy and Lucy out of Muregza. So happy, great marriage, and I love that. Well, that's my review of the generations, the legacy and what has been happening so far. So please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want. So stay tuned. Peace. I'm out.